So the first thing that you need to know about what it's like to be a theme park photographer is that it's very, very hot. I mean the hot as in there's no air conditioning. You're standing out in the burning sun taking pictures of sweaty and angry people as they walk through the door. And then we try to sell them those pictures. Basically the way I think of it is that we're basically like those people who live in really poor cities who dump dirt on your windshield and then they squeegee it off like this and then they ask you to pay them. Except this is a little more high class, admittedly, and costs about 10 times as much. So I know what you're thinking right now. Half of you guys are thinking, wow, David, your hair looks the same. Whereas the other half of you are thinking, wow, David, your hair looks different. I'm so proud of you, David. You've finally gotten a haircut and become a respectable member of society. If only that were the case. You see, I'm actually wearing a wig right now. This wig is actually a part of my uniform as a theme park photographer. You see, the park where I work has very strict grooming standards. Nobody can work there unless they look like a respectable member of society. Which if you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you know, I'm definitely not one of those people. But this wig makes me look like one. Thanks to this wig, all the guys that I work with respect me. And they say to themselves, wow, David is actually a decent person. Boy, are they wrong. So the reason that I'm making this video today is because it always says in my outro, new videos except when I work. And so I want to give you guys a glimpse into my world and tell you about what that's like. And for any coworkers I have who might be watching this video, hopefully today I will finally say out loud what we're all thinking. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get more into what the job is like. So at the beginning of the day, we all line up at the front gate. The guests are waiting to come into the park. They're really excited. They're thinking about all the fun things that they're going to do that day. And then we interrupt those wonderful thoughts as soon as they walk through the gate. We're like, hey guys, please put all your wonderful plans on hold and squeeze together and smile for a quick photo. And surprisingly, like half the people actually listen. It's a great feeling when people listen to you without questioning, and a feeling that my parents probably never knew. But of course, you still get the guests that say no, and these are the funny ones. People will make up the most ridiculous excuses to not stand for 10 to 30 seconds to get their photo taken. You'll get people who are like, I'm allergic to camera flashes. Or they're like, no, I have retinal scarring. This one time I approached a family and I said, hey, do you guys want a photograph? And they were like, no, see, we're not really a happy family. And I was like, oh, that's pretty awkward. You see, they think they're being funny, but they're actually not. Allergens to camera flashes are a real thing. There are people out there who live their lives in constant fear of being photographed. This is a real condition, just like osteoporosis, or crippling depression, or being a Jake Pauler. Hi, Mom. But even worse than the people who give you ridiculous excuses are the people who just immediately shut you down before you even complete your sentence. They're like, hey guys, please squeeze together. No! And you're like, ugh. Whenever that happens, I just go like this. Oh, I'm sorry, did you think I was gonna try to sell you something? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no, look. And I take out one of the cards that we give them, and I go, watch closely. Oh, where did it go? Whoa, oh. And meanwhile, they're watching like, and then I'm like, come on, tell me that trick wasn't worth one photo. And they're like, no. And then I'm like, oh. But even worse than that are the people who just walk by you without saying anything at all. They just walk by you without even acknowledging your existence. It's like my high school days, but all over again. I'm like, hey guys, please squeeze together and smile for a quick photo. And then they're all like, oh! Every time that happens to me, I say to myself, oh, perhaps they were simply having a moment of silence for our fallen veterans. And then that makes me feel better. Another really interesting thing to note about my job is my mustache. Every time I work, I like to wax it and, you know, to make it look a little bit better. And honestly, I receive around like 10 to 15 compliments a day just for my mustache. I'll be working as a cashier and I'll be like, hey guys, I appreciate your patience, thanks for waiting. And they're like, oh, I appreciate your mustache. I'm like, thank you. At least during the daytime, that's what happens. During the nighttime, it's a completely different story. Halloween is coming up, so we, like many other theme parks, have a Halloween theme, you know, night area where there's like mazes and people who jump out at you and stuff like that. And during the night, people are expecting to be scared. So when they see me and they would look at my handlebar mustache, they're like, ah, a greedy capitalist. Like seriously, no joke. I was just walking to the bathroom one time, just, you know, minding my own business, being like as non-threatening as I could. And this lady took one look at me and screamed. You know, she was with her boyfriend, you know, busy being scared by all the other things. And she was like, ah, a ghost, ah, a zombie, ah, a man of questionable moral character. But of course, not all of the guests are bad. Some of them are actually very, very nice. It was the most touching moment. This one time, a kid walked through the gate and he held out his fist like that. And I was like, oh, fist bump, right? And he was like, no, hold out your hand. I want to give you something. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he dropped into my hand an arcade token and a dime. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Most of the time when anyone ever gives me something, it's usually the finger, but you know, so you can see why I was really happy about this. But at the end of the day, the thing that makes this all worth it, that makes me willing to work out in the burning sun when I could be working at like the grocery store somewhere in the sweet air conditioning, is the the people I work with. But seriously though, guys, my boss is a great person. She's got a great sense of humor, and she does a fantastic job of leading our company. All the other people that I work with, like the managers and the supervisors, they all do a fantastic job at making our workplace a fun place to be, looking out for us, and keeping us motivated. I'm not gonna name any names right now because there's too many people to name here, honestly. But from the very bottom of my heart, I want to say to you guys, thank you. Thank you so much. But for those of you who don't work in the theme park, for those of you just watching from home, let me tell you this. Let me just say one thing. You know those people who try to take your picture when you walk in the front gate of the amusement park? Treat them nice. It only takes around 30 seconds, and there's no obligation to purchase anything. But if you do decide to purchase something, whether it's a digital download or a magnet or a keychain, you can expect that the pictures that we take at the park will be some of the best pictures of your life, and that they'll create fantastic memories for many years to come. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, can I ask you a quick favor? Can someone do me a favor and squeeze together and smile for a quick photo? I mean, subscribe. And if you're up for a really big challenge, go down below and click that like button. I know it's really hard. I know it's really challenging. I know you may not feel like doing it. And you're like, can I do it tomorrow? No, do it today. Stop procrastinating. You've got this. This is your life. Time is made up of life. Stop wasting. Basically, do everything that you're about to see on screen right now. Oh yeah, hang on, hold on. Let me put on my glasses so that you guys can recognize me. Watch there be one of my coworkers watching this and be like, oh, so that's who that is. I recognize him now. Oh yeah, and for those of you at work who are wondering what my actual hair looks like, here we go. Check it out. I knew that David was a man of questionable moral character.